Hello everybody. In this video we'll try to understand some more interesting things about Chitra Nakshatra. And also we'll try to understand different padas, what each pada of Chitra Nakshatra consists of, what kind of energy it consists of. See, Chitra is a female nakshatra basically. And it's because of the Chitra's connection with the Maya, our ancient seers classified it as a female nakshatra. See, what is its relationship with Maya? Why this relationship? See, it's really not only about the inner core of something, but it is also how it appear outside world. This all understanding Chitra has. So Chitra can make magnificent things with fundamental elements as well, so this kind of architecture ability, design ability, the kind of transformating ability, skilled, that kind of skill, that kind of systematic and very perfectionist approach is all related to Chitra. So this is all Maya basically on the earthly plane. So Maya is mainly treated as a feminine attribute of nature, and that feminine attribute of nature, that is Maya, is actually sustaining the play of life. Without Maya, we don't feel very energetic in our life. And Chitra natives possess predominantly feminine graces. They look feminine. And forehead and neck are the body parts related to this nakshatra. So when you see a Chitra person, you can see their forehead and neck are very significant. And even Chitra natives, when they check others, subconsciously they would try to check forehead and neck. And it is a fiery nakshatra. It's a Pitta nakshatra in Ayurvedic terminology. It's Pitta nakshatra because it's of its relationship with Mars. It's a Pitta planet. And it's a hot nakshatra because it relates to all heat and energy producing processes in the body as per Ayurveda. So this fiery, that is Pitta energy, you can observe in Chitra nakshatra. So in Ayurvedic treatment, if they try to observe your nakshatra energy, if you have more Chitra energy, then they would also check if you are having more Pitta energy, and definitely you would have more Pitta energy only, and based on that only the treatment may go on. And it is related primarily to the range, or you can say the arc, that goes from southeast. Southeast is called as Agneya. It's also related to fire. And southeast to south to west, this whole arc, that is from Agneya to if you move to south and then till to west, that whole arc is basically related to Chitra energy. And the first pada of Chitra nakshatra ranges from 23 degree 20 minutes of Virgo to 26 degree 40 minutes of Virgo it falls in Leo Navamsha. So whenever a planet is placed in Chitra Nakshatra first pada, that planet goes to the sign of Leo in your Navamsha chakra. And Leo is ruled by Sun, and Chitra is ruled by Mars. But Chitra is basically, the first pada is in Virgo, but in Navamsha, of course, it is in Leo. So basically, Mercury, Mars, and Sun energies are amalgamated here. So when Sun, Mercury, Mars, these three amalgamated, then how it acts in the lower level? If you observe in the lower level, these people, their main emphasis is on personal glamour. So what is their personal glamour? They check it when this Chitra is operating in lower levels based on the horoscope. So they only think about the personal glamour, the Chitra first pada people. But if this particular Chitra first pada energy is acting in higher level, then this pada strives for self-perfection through self-abnegation. So in lower level or higher level, they think about the personal levels only. But when it is acting in lower level, that is expressed or manifested as personal, thinking about personal glamour. But when it is acting in higher level, they strive for self-perfection. So this particular pada, that is the Chitra first pada, has a very strong ability to keep secrets, just like the Sphinx. See, Sphinx in the sky. Sphinx is the area in the sky, that is SPHINX. This particular Sphinx is a combination of these signs Leo and Virgo in the sky. In ancient times, some people used to worship this particular area as well. And this area can hide deep esoteric knowledge until humanity is ready for them. So the Sphinx is able to hide lot of knowledge, and that knowledge is very, very special. Only it is indented for some special people, not for everybody. That kind of energy this area in the sky Sphinx has. As Chitra is very much near this particular area, it almost in that area. So Chitra first pada mainly also has this particular capacity of keeping the secrets. And planets in Chitra Nakshatra first pada function in a very hidden, non-apparent way. They work in a hidden way. So for self-perfection, the kind of approaches they take would be they hide and try to take the approach. And even for personal glamour, if it is acting in a lower level, they use some hidden approaches. That is Chitra first pada. And if you see Sun, Mars, Mercury, and Rahu also, these four planets are very, very strong in Chitra first pada. Because Chitra first pada is Leo Navamsha. So whenever Sun is placed here in the Navamsha chakra, it will go to Leo. So it's a positive thing. Even Mars, because Chitra first pada is Chitra is Mars Nakshatra, so in the first pada Mars is comfortable. Whereas Mercury, Chitra first pada, Mercury is very good. See, generally, this Chitra is Mars Nakshatra. So when Mercury is present here, the people would be very good at languages sometimes, because Mercury is all about languages, and when Mars energy is very good, let us say here, of course, the Mars dignity is also very important. There is a Mercury is present in Chitra Nakshatra, or a person has Chitra energy. At the same time, if the person has a very good Mars, some exalted Mars, or very dignified Mars, and the person would automatically be very good in languages. Especially when Mercury is in Chitra first pada and Mars has a very good dignity, the person would learn multiple foreign languages or multiple languages as well. Even Rahu is very good here, because Rahu is uh, generally good in Virgo, people say, right? Especially in this Chitra area. Of course, in Hasta area, Rahu is a kind of, in Moon's Nakshatra, so there is a small conflict there. But of course, in the Mars Nakshatra, Chitra, that is also Virgo part, Rahu is also very comfortable. So Sun, Mars, Mercury and Rahu, these four are very good in Chitra first pada. And Chitra second pada, if you observe, it ranges from 26 degree 40 minutes of Virgo to 30 degrees of Virgo. So it's the final part of Virgo, and it falls in Virgo Navamsha only. It's ruled by Mercury, Virgo Navamsha. So because of Virgo, there is a mercurial influence, and again Chitra to Navamsha is also Virgo, so again mercurial influence, more mercurial influence, and also Mars is present here. So Mars energy is also there, because Chitra is a Mars planet, Mars Nakshatra. So as more mercurial energy, so the emphasis here is on order, arrangement, maternity and duality. So this is a very disciplined pada, you can say, Chitra second pada, which likes to conclude whatever it begins. So it starts something and it concludes it. It follows a disciplined approach, right, in starting and ending also. And Saturn, Mercury and Rahu are strong here, because Saturn is very much related to discipline. So once Saturn is present in Chitra 2, the person would be very, very disciplined. And Mercury is also very good, because in the Navamsha also it will go to its own Mula Trikona, our own house, that's Virgo. And Rahu, of course, also very strong here, because Rahu is good in Chitra, that too in Virgo part of Chitra. So although, see, Saturn may make one excessively a kind of, some people think this sexual stuff is a kind of sin, or it should be used in a disciplined approach only. Some people do it, right? So people would be like that when Saturn is in Chitra 2. So we say it as puritanical. We use that word, puritanical. That's so especially Saturn in Chitra 2. That is one of the observations from one of the famous astrologers. So when Saturn is in Chitra 2, and people may have the tendencies of seeing this sex as a kind of they see it as a kind of sin, but not completely. They do it, but they treat it as a very disciplined thing, right? So they are not very liberal in this particular thing. So that is how they behave when this particular Saturn is present in Chitra Nakshatra second pada. See, Chitra second pada is very, very famous for discipline. They talk about discipline a lot. Talk about in the sense, even though they do not talk, they try to be like that only. They try to be very disciplined. So, of course, it's based on the mercurial influence also, how much they talk about discipline. But whether they talk or not, they are basically very, very, they like discipline, in one word you can say. And when Saturn in Chitra 2 and acting in its lower levels, and the person has something, they have some irregular ideas. It's not irregular ideas. They do not treat sex as a general thing. They treat it as a very very restrictive thing, and they feel a kind of restriction in that. And if you observe the third pada of Chitra, it ranges from 0 degrees of Libra to 3 degree 20 minutes of Libra. It falls in Libra Navamsha, and of course it's ruled by Venus, the Libra Navamsha. So whenever a planet is present in Chitra third pada, it goes to Libra sign in the Navamsha chakra. On the material plane, the main focus of this pada is on relationships, because Chitra 3 is actually starting this relationship energy. Libra is very famous for relationships as being a natural 7th house. So Chitra 3rd is the pada which is starting all this relationship energy. So when you're starting something, let us say when you start studying, let us say your college education, you have so much of initiation in that, right? Or when you start a shop, your own business, you do it very actively, right? Your focus is always on your goals, why you actually have that shop, actually started that business. Your focus is mainly on that only, right? So here Chitra 3 is also kind of it is the pada which is starting the relationship energy. So its main focus is on relationships, self-absorption and equilibrium, because Libra is all about equilibrium, right? Even the symbol of Libra is that. So relationships, self-absorption and equilibrium, they focus on this, Chitra third pada people. So this is a very self-centric and at the same time social, this particular pada. They think about self, because when you think about self, then only you would correct yourself and make yourself contributing in the relationships. So it's a bit very self-centric, you can say. Chitra 3 is very self-centric, at the same time social as well. So this social pada, this one, it likes to rise in life through manipulating its social circle, because as it is starting Libra, the social energy, the relationship energy, so it tries to utilize the social circle. And on a higher level, if you observe, if it is acting in higher level, this Chitra 3, it likes to promote love and harmony, especially in relationships. So Chitra 3 is mainly into relationships and all the stuff. How to maintain those relationships. It always focuses on that. See, planets here like to, you can say, flaunt and dazzle, right? And Mercury is good here, and Venus is of course good because in the Navamsha it is going to Libra, and Saturn is very strong because Saturn generally exalts in Libra, so Saturn is also very strong in Chitra third pada. So these three you can say. And of course Sun is not so comfortable because it's going to Libra, so Sun is not comfortable in the sign of Libra. So Mercury, Venus and Saturn, you can say these three planets, they are very good in Chitra 3. Very good in the sense they actually completely pumps up this particular energy of self-centric and at the same time social, and maintaining the relationships, using the social circle for the relationships. And that is Chitra third pada. If you observe Chitra fourth pada, it ranges from 3 degree 20 minutes of Libra to 6 degree 40 minutes of Libra, and it falls in Scorpio Navamsha. So whenever a planet is in Chitra Nakshatra fourth pada, it will go to Scorpio sign in the Navamsha chakra, and Scorpio is ruled by Mars. So this particular pada relates to the magical and mysterious side of Chitra, because here Mars energy is more. Mars is related to as it is Scorpio Navamsha. Scorpio is mainly into this mysterious things. Scorpio is a kind of mystery, it's a hidden energy in the whole zodiac. So as more Martian side of this Martian side, Mars has multiple behaviors. In that one of the behaviors is hiding the things, right? This mystery is associated with Martian, that is also the Scorpio sign. So more passion and secrecy is in display than what is usually associated with the sign Libra. Chitra 4 has more passion and secrecy, and you can observe, see, despite its non-acquisitive nature, planets here usually bring smooth sailing in regards to any kind of material affairs. You can take any material affair. There's a kind of smooth sailing observed in Chitra 4. So Chitra 4 is also a kind of alluring, in nature, you can say. And Venus is good here because it's going to, it's actually the Libra, basically Chitra 4 is in Libra. And Saturn is good here. Rahu and Ketu, both of them are good. So they give good results basically. Venus, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu, they can give good results in Chitra 4. And if you observe the kind of professions Chitra energy people can take, any Chitra energy people. As we discussed, Hasta is about their handyman of the zodiac, but Chitra is much more enhanced. They become perfectionists. Chitra energy people are perfectionists. So that's why here we don't talk just about handymen, we talk about experts in craftsmen and artisans. The experts are related to Chitra. Architects, designers, any kind of designer, you take fashion designer, any designing is related to Chitra only. Models, fashion industry, so much more refinement when you observe, you know, in the work. If you observe more refinement, more better finishing, then that is Chitra only. Even you can see cosmetic industry. See, when you see one thing, there would be beauty associated with it, there is perfectionism associated with it. The beauty, those things are related to other nakshatras, but here it's not about beauty, it's about perfectionism. The perfectionism is Chitra, right? So anything, any kind of outer appearance, if you're dealing with outer appearance, how much perfect the outer appearance would be, it's all Chitra's energy only. The plastic surgeons are cosmetic industry, photographers, graphic artists, composers, orators. You take anything, the final outcome, if it is very very perfect, that there lies Chitra's energy. Any business expert, interior designing, it's not about, I'm not talking about the beauty here, the interior designing, if it has that perfectness, that perfectness is Chitra, right? So jewelry makers, see, any gemstone is very beautiful. Let us say there's a very beautiful gemstone. If you're seeing the beauty in it, that is not complete Chitra. If you're seeing the perfectness in it, the perfectness, the finishing, if you're observing, that is Chitra basically. That skill is Chitra, you know. So even jewelry makers are with, they have Chitra's energy, and all professions involving invention and production of all kinds of machinery, builders of all kinds, landscapers, painters, screenplay writers, novelists, production and set designers, art directors, these are all can come under Chitra energy with perfectionism, right? Stage managers, performers of all kinds, judge musicians, musicians with an original and out of ordinary approach, herbalists, and even speech, let multilingual people, right? Because the Mars and Mercury influence in the Chitra first and second padas, they can be good in multiple languages with good Mars. And the places, if you observe, capital cities, because capital cities are much more, you know, perfect, much more well designed, you can say well architectured. That's why any capital city you take that has Chitra energy, right? So places of architectural importance, any place you take some architectural importance, if you observe, like you take Eiffel Tower, you take Empire State Building, you take in India, you take Taj Mahal, or great temples that have lot and lot of perfectionism, Brihadishwara temple or Tanjavur temple. You take any temple, any architecture in India, you can see lot of architecture in ancient Hindu temples, and that is all Chitra energy only. And stages, performance halls and theaters, because Chitra has that artistic side also. So this artistic side is a kind of, it's something like theater artists, you know, theater artists, they try to check for perfectionism. That perfectionism is Chitra only. So places frequented by artisans, merchants, consumers and women, markets, trade shows, any trading. So because of mercurial influence, Virgo part of Chitra is related to trading and marketing as well. Wardrobes, closets, wherever you take some perfectionism, anything you find it perfect, that is Chitra. And one more important thing is Chitra is a tamasic nakshatra. All illusions and delusions are classified under the tamasic aspect only, because they are more into architecture and design. They are much more obsessed with this particular thing, this perfectionism and all this is all treated as tamasic. See, matter of, because they are much more into that illusion, right? So illusion is basically tamasic. So, from the perspective of the universal mind, if you observe, creating just for the sake of creating does not reflect a very enlightened state of mind. And when a person is trying for some illusionary things, but and of course he is going to manifest it, that is another side, but the person is much more concerned about that illusion that he has in his mind and wants to manifest it. That nature is tamasic basically treated as, and it belongs to the fire element, as we discussed, because of that Mars influence. And out of this fire only you can see a lot of even the plain rocks are becoming gemstones. And the fire element directly relates to the creative principle in nature, so it's always fiery, Chitra. And Chitra is also treated as a demonic nakshatra, because in all the Puranic mythologies, the demons are seen as superior to gods and humans. When it comes to manipulation of Maya, creating illusions or fashioning structures and weapons, this is all treated as demonic. So the ancient seers are highlighting the indulgent aspect of Chitra through this particular classification here. When a person is very much obsessed with this kind of Maya, and also creating and manifesting the illusions, fashioning the structures, this is all they treated as a kind of demonic in nature. So Chitra is treated as a demonic nakshatra, and of course it is a level nakshatra. It relates to the balancing aspect. Actually, it is very well balanced. See, any perfection of beauty or form requires a sense of harmony, balance and proportion. Then only the thing would look very well architected, very well balanced. So Chitra is an absolute master in creating beauty through balance and harmony. So it is a very well balanced nakshatra, structured, well designed, right? And it is a soft, mild and tender nakshatra. So you may think, even though there is a Mars influence here, why it is a soft nakshatra? See, the Martian energy is used for constructive purposes here rather than confrontation and destruction. So in that way, as Martian energy is also treated as this kind of Martian energy, which is used for a very well structured constructive approaches purposes. So of course you can take this as soft, mild and tender. Even see, when a person is trying to build something with a very good design and well architectured, he behaves a bit balanced, and he is a bit tender only. So half of Chitra is in Libra. Again, you can see Libra is a mild diplomatic sign. It's a Venusian energy, very soft energy. Only the other half, of course, it is in Virgo, which is a non-violent sign. Virgo is mercurial energy. It's also soft. So it's very appropriate you consider Chitra as a soft nakshatra instead of just by taking its planetary ruler Mars. Even the Martian energy they're using very constructively, very in a disciplined manner. They are using the Martian energy, pumping up the energy very systematically to achieve something, to construct something, to architecture and design something. So Chitra is no doubt, it should be treated as a soft nakshatra, soft, mild and tender nakshatra. And it relates to the middle 9 days of the lunar month of Chaitra Masa. Chaitra, right? So Chaitra Masa, the middle 9 days, those are of course they fall in April. So Chaitra is related to the you say, pardon me, Vidya. Vidya is the second Tidhi, that is called as Dvitiya. Some people say there's a Vidya, this Dvitiya is more appropriate. Dvitiya Tidhi is the second day of the waxing and waning phases of the moon's monthly cycle. And the auspicious activities you can perform on the day of Chitra Nakshatra are health and body improvement measures mainly, because Virgo is a natural sixth house and it's related to health and body improvement. So you can clearly see it's a very, it's related to health and body improvement measures. Buying new clothes, buying new clothes and wearing them, fixing up the home designing, anything related to art and craft, architecture. If you want to start, you better start on the day of Chitra. So creative activity, any creative activity, because Chitra is very creative, right? Its main purpose is creation. You give sand, it will take silicon out of it, and then from silicon it will make a computer chip. It will make an integrated chip IC, right? So that is Chitra. So anything that creative, is a magnificent creativity it has. So any type of mechanical activity also is good for giving performances, putting on gemstones and jewelry for the first time, because Chitra is basically, it's a gemstone, it's a beautiful gemstone, right? Chitra's symbolism is like there is a shining gemstone. So anything you want to do, any decorative things, interior designing, if you want to start, you can start on the day of Chitra. Is good for spiritual practices like visualizations, because before building anything, Chitra visualizes it, right? See, all issues relating to the opposite sex, those are also can be dealt on the day of Chitra. It's good for collecting herbs and preparing medicines, because you're taking herbs and you're preparing medicines out of it. Something, you're taking some fundamental elements and you're preparing something great, then that definitely you can do on the day of Chitra. It's good for all activities requiring charisma, elegance, and personal charm, because Chitra is that charm, that beautiful charm, that systematic, disciplined charm. That is Chitra. So anything related to that charm, that kind of things, you can start on the day of, Chitra. And the unfavorable things that you generally, that is, you should avoid, this, see, it's very unfavorable for direct confrontation on the day of Chitra. Better you don't confront anybody. A marriage is also, generally people do not fix muhurta on the day of Chitra for marriage. It's unfavorable for activities which require getting to the root of things, and it's bad for investigative activities as illusions are strong. So there are, so on the day of Chitra you would have some kind of illusionary energy. So better you avoid going to the root also. You, of course, Chitra people would try to go to the roots, right? Then only they can build the inner core and also this one. But their main motive is in that illusion. They see the final product. They don't see the root basically. Of course, they can construct the root, but the main aim of Chitra is what you are seeing, the perfectionism that you're seeing from the outside. That is Chitra. They have the knowledge of inner core for sure, but without the inner core, how they can prepare? See, if somebody is preparing integrated circuit, that the IC, the chip out of some silica, he would definitely have the inner knowledge, but they are not, they're not, the Chitra people, they do not care about taking the silicon and making an IC, but they are more interested in how the IC looks for the outer world. they want to make the look very beautiful, very perfect, you know. That is where Chitra energy is more into. So going into the roots, they are not very much concerned because they know it already, or they just concerned about it, but they are more concerned about the outer look, right? So even investigative things also, you know, those activities also better you do not perform on the day of Chitra. So that is the energy of Chitra. In our next video, we'll try to talk much more about Chitra's energy. It's a beautiful and perfectionism energy. It's related to perfectionists. So thanks for watching this video. We'll try to meet in our next video.